What's up, Ada Gang? Welcome into Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. My name is Fareed. As a part of today's video, we're diving into Project Catalyst funding round number 14, where we're going to be talking exclusively about agriculture and supply chain markets. I'm going to be joined by three teams, which have all gotten proposals put together, and they're all playing a different part or a different role within this entire supply chain. So I'll be sitting down and meeting with the founder of 5AM, the founder or co-founder, I should say, of the Zengate platform or the Palmyra economy, as well as the founder of IndianChain. So without any further ado, let me bring up today's guest, starting off with Yoram, the founder of 5AM Earth. Yoram, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. It is a pleasure to have you here. I hope you're doing okay.
Hi, Fareed. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for taking the time. Next, we have Rahul from IndianChain. Rahul, welcome up. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am
Hope
doing
everyone's
okay.
doing good.
Yes, sir. It is nice and early here where I am and excited to be talking Catalyst. And thank you as well for your time. Last but
Super
definitely
excited.
not least, of course, we have Sam Lambert representing a Zengate Global. Welcome up, Sam. How are you?
Hi, very good, thank you. Yoram, Rahul, good to be on the line with you guys today. Thanks for having us, Fareed.
It is my pleasure. We're going to dive right on in here. You guys all play different key pieces or different critical parts here within the agriculture supply chain process in markets. And I want to better understand that in addition to what you guys currently have for Project Catalyst funding round number 14. So let's briefly do a round robin here with introductions and maybe just a brief overview of what your particular project brings to the table. We'll kick things off here with Yoram to my right. If you could please just introduce yourself and what exactly it is that 5AM Earth is doing.
Thank you, Fareed. My name is Yoram. I'm involved in Cardano for the last 5 years. I'm part of the founding teams of Andamio and Sundial, but I'm also part of the 5am.earth team, which is a very exciting project that actually brought me to blockchain 5 years ago. And this project is basically using satellite technology to create a trust layer for agriculture that can connect to multiple services like finance, trading, insurance, government, and others. And we actually have a huge project going on now in India with a multinational called Syngenta, where we are building the technology and the satellite oracle use case with 100,000 farmers. So that's about me, but thank you. Excited to be here.
Of course, thank you as well. Next over to Rahul in IndianChain.
Hello. Hello, Fareed. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming here. Just about me, I'm Rahul. I'm the founder and CEO of TrueAllTech. The proposal which we are putting up is IndianChain. IndianChain onboards an entire Indian state government onto Cardano. That is Telangana, which is a $158 billion economy state. And we're also onboarding 5.6 million farmers onto Cardano via DIDs. And there lacks a system where farmers doesn't have proper access to credit. And that's what we're solving with IndianChain. I'm going to explain more about it later.
Perfect, and thank you. And we've got Sam Lambert. Over to you.
All right, thanks for having us. So my name's Sam, one of the co-founders of Zengate Global, where we're building the Palmyra ecosystem. Today, I want to talk a bit about a proposal that we have to onboard up to 50,000 smallholder farmers in the Cross River state of Nigeria. Many of these farmers don't have access to the right technologies to stay compliant with EU-based regulations. And if they don't address this issue, they effectively lose market to the European Union. So looking forward to explain a little bit more around the technologies that we'll be using on Cardano and how we're going to plan to have an impact not only on the transactions happening on Cardano, but for the farmers that we work hand in hand with.
Thank you all, gentlemen, for the wonderful intros. I think we're going to go first over to Yoram to talk a little bit more about satellite imaging and why this is such an important piece of the puzzle here, and how this actually ties into IndianChain as well as what the Zengate team is currently working on. So, Yoram, could you maybe break down, how are you guys capturing these images? What are you actually capturing, and how does this benefit, the other parts of the supply chain process within agriculture?
Perfect. So what satellite images enable is to enable to have at scale reach to a lot of farmers, right? And the challenge is how to do it in a low cost. And we actually figure out the process, and we have a full process from getting the satellite images, AI processes on them, putting some of them on the blockchain, and then connect it to multiple opportunities. So to give an example, what we do now in India, we are using satellite images to define farm borders for 100,000 farmers and the sustainability index of the farm, right? And put these indexes on the Oracle, on the blockchain, and this can be directly connected to better finance opportunities, trading opportunities, and so on. So in addition to that, actually, we also gather information from the ground, which is important, and about yield and products and crops that are being gathered. And this all together provide information that can connect to many different ecosystems. So the way we envision the Oracle and the infrastructure we build, it can connect actually to hundreds of different dApps. And in Fund 14, one of the solutions actually we have is we are collaborating with the World Food Program, where we are helping them to create a pricing ledger of all the commodities they are creating, and putting it on Cardano. And this pricing ledger will be integrated to the satellite Oracle app in India that we are working with Syngenta. So also there is already see their collaboration, right, between a new proposal that is coming on board. But as I mentioned, I mean, this information is directly connected to what Sam and Rahul is doing. First of all, Rahul is focusing on finance for the farmers with the government. So we can see how directly the information collected on the Oracle connected to his work, and some their work with the trading compliance and trading platform can be also directly connected, and other partners, by the way, on the ecosystem. We just see so many synergies that can help all of us grow together.
Thank you there, Yoram. Next, I want to jump over to Rahul. Do you mind breaking down, the current problem that the farmers in Telangana currently face? How big of an issue is this? And then how are you bringing your own solution, but then potentially leveraging the satellite images from Yoram, right, or from 5 a.m. Earth to help you in your mission to help out those farmers?
Yeah, to be more precise, the government and the farmers are facing huge problem, as the government doesn't have a unified system for settlements of agricultural data. So due to that, and not just that, farmers credit access is a major problem for them. They're currently charging, the loan sharks are currently charging 50 to 60% of APR for them, and for them to pay that back, there's a lot of food adulteration happening. Also, without paying them back, there's a lot of suicidal cases has been recorded as well. To solve this major problem, government, Indian state government, and we have come together, sat in a place, and came up with a solution called IndianChain. So IndianChain is a Cardano partner chain and a settlement layer for the which connects the state government and farmers on Cardano. So what it does is the tracking will be done from point A, where the farmers are taking seeds, where they're plowing them, and then to point Z, where they put it out to the warehousing. So that until then, everything will be recorded and settled on Cardano. And with that settlement and the proof of immutability, government issues a certificate as soon as the farmer, take for example rice. The farmer has given 1 ton of rice to the warehouse, and government issues a certificate that this farmer holds 1 ton of rice. And with that certificate issued by the government, now farmer can take that certificate, give it to the bank, and take out loans from the Indian government banks at a 5 to 6% APRs. So we're reducing the cost from 50-60% to 5 to 6% of APRs. This will avoid the food adulteration as it's been trackable from point A to point Z. Also, it's providing farmers with credit access. So with all this, now we have 10 million plus settlements on Cardano with just IndianChain, Cardano partner chain, and we're expecting 100K plus transactions on Cardano mainnet. We'll onboard the entire state government by onboarding 5.6 million farmers onto Cardano. So this is what IndianChain does. And with Yoram's 5 a.m., we collaborate with them with the satellite images for before and after analysis. So take, for example, now everything is happening before IndianChain. Now we have the satellite images. So post IndianChain execution, then we'll have the satellite images as well. So that's when we give the government and the people the differences and the analytics of before and after using the satellite images as well. So that's how we're collaborating with them.
Thank you for that there, Rahul. I've got just one brief follow-up, right? You mentioned a partner chain. Is this something that is currently in development? Are you guys, looking to get started? How far along are you guys in the current development process of IndianChain?
So why? So first, let me start with why partner chain and not the Cardano mainnet. We'll have more than 10 million plus settlements, and government wants its security and privacy. So that's why the partner chain. And then later, all the transactions will be batched and then put onto mainnet. So we're expecting 10 million plus settlements on the Cardano partner chain and expecting more than 100K plus transactions on Cardano mainnet. So this process the process is still going on. Hope I answered the question.
You did, and I appreciate that. Sounds like you guys are still in the works. Next, let's jump over to Sam Lambert. Now, I just spoke with Daniel Friedman, one of the co-founders for Zengate, with you guys as well. And you guys have an interesting proposal, which again ties directly into agriculture here. You guys have dealt with a lot of commodities. You guys have sold, I believe it's olive oil, tea, honey, a lot of different spices on your Palm Economy website. But now you guys are looking to onboard farmers here. So could you break that down and how that ties into what Rahul as well as Yoram are currently working on as well?
Sure. Thank you for the question. So I think we're talking backstage a little bit about this before, and there's 3 strong projects building on Cardano, especially in the supply chain space. There are enormous amounts of challenges, but I think the most interesting thing is all 3 of us are trying to tackle these problems from different ends of the spectrum. So one of the things Rahul's obviously focusing on is access to credit and financing to ensure there's no discrimination happening in terms of lending. And then the work Yoram's been doing at 5 a.m. has been around data access, oracles, different types of pricing ledgers. For us, our key focus has been on trace and trade. And specifically for this proposal, it's around traceability related compliance. And just more broadly, in terms of how I think all of these fit together, I think all of these technologies ultimately converge into one. And what we'll find at the end is an end-to-end ecosystem of Cardano-powered dApps and Cardano-powered ecosystems that blend and stitch together. So on our end, in terms of how we're trying to make that possible and push that adoption on our side, our proposal focuses on onboarding farmers out of the Cross River State in Nigeria. And the big challenge they face is around deforestation regulation. And if they don't address those challenges, they'll lose access to the European markets. In terms of the different types of technologies that we'll be using on Cardano, we obviously have the end-to-end traceability work that we've done before across Zambia. It's powered by the Winter Protocol, which is an open source solution that we've built, but we'll also be leveraging credentials. There's geotagging plots, which is basically leveraging GPS coordinates to map out farms. But this is where tools like what Yoram's talked about around satellite oracles can also fit in, where we'll need to do AI-powered analysis on deforestation and environmental indexes. And the last thing that we're also focused on is around DeFi, with the first piece being around settling and recording of financial payments on chain as well. So one of the big issues that we see is cash payments in many of these supply chains never get recorded. And when they're not recorded, you effectively have no financial identity around the farmer. So we have an oracle that's been custom built to process this, where we'll be storing this data. And effectively, we see this as becoming a public good available and accessible through Cardano. And similar to work that Yoram's been doing for oracles and Rahul's been doing for access to finance, but also capturing data in their own supply chains, people will be able to tap into this and leverage it for their own dApps. So this is sort of the blueprint that we're building, but we're very hands-on on the ground, similar to Yoram and Rahul in the markets they operate in, and that's how we're going to get farmers and producers onto Cardano.
Thank you there, Sam. Wonderful breakdown and review of your proposal. I want to jump over to Yoram, right? Yoram, you've been here in the ecosystem for quite a bit of time. You obviously see things big picture with 5 a.m. You guys are a piece of the picture when it comes to onboarding agricultural markets and having that path, right, to blockchain tech or to the Cardano ecosystem. What do you see as the most critical need that we need right now in the space to be able to onboard these real world businesses, these producers, these farmers into what we've built here, which is the Cardano ecosystem?
For me, to solve the agriculture supply chain, it's a huge issue, right? We are speaking about hundreds of millions of people around the world, huge territories. We just spoke about also forest conservation. So it's really, really huge issues. And many try to solve them separately. But in order to really provide a solution, a comprehensive solution and scale, I think what I call ecosystem collaboration is needed. And because once you get to the right people, it's and share first of all resources, but reaching to the right people at the government, and you understand their needs. It might not be you the first go to market. It might be Rahul or Sam that will be the first one to offer, and then your solution will come later. So if we are able to collaborate between us, I think we are really able to take the benefit of the blockchain and scale it together in a way that brings value, and it's able to get out of the current supply chain infrastructure, right, which is controlled by the multinationals up to now. So I think this is so we need to collaborate with the multinationals and the government and so on, but we need to offer solutions that bring value and first of all to the farmer and to nature. And this we need to do together. And if we're able to do it, there's so much value for the chain and for the transaction on chain and for the business to have better business in finance and trading and others, and bring other solutions from the ecosystem. So for me, it's really about ecosystem collaboration. There are other people building the field of finance that are building insurance, and Charlie's free that is looking also into Oracle solution here, and DigiFarm and environmental solution building. So there's many solutions that can be plugged in. And if we're able to collaborate, I think we're able to scale, as long as we are building a solution that obviously bring value, right, and prove the value. And this is, I think, what the three companies here are bringing together.
Nicely said. And I'd like to actually pose that same question to the two other guests. But before I jump over to them, any closing thoughts or key points for anybody who wants to get in touch with you about your proposal, who wants to check out, the images, whatever the case might be, right? How can people get in contact with you and the team at 5 a.m. Earth?
Yeah, so just before that, as a closing note, I wanted also to connect to what Sam mentioned, and I wanted to just ask such a big question, so I had to dive to that. But Sam mentioned a lot the forest, the compliance for forest conservation. So another proposal, a small one we have, is with ISO compliance. So collaborating with ISO for compliance or for forest conservation that connected to carbon credits. There's huge issue with greenwashing in carbon credits, and ISO kind of worked on a new process, and we are collaborating to use the satellite oracle and verify based on ISO standards the carbon credit related to forest conservation, and we are going to use two big forest conservation partners for the use case. So really, really cool proposal. How to get to the 5 a.m. team? I mean, it's very simple to get to us. I mean, we are launching our website also soon, and there's going to be which is going to be 5am.earth, and you will be able to connect to us through there. We're live in the next couple of weeks. I mean, to me, anyone, I mean, it's very easy to reach out to me through X or through Telegram, but X is my name, Yoram Ben Zvi. So anyone can reach to me through there, and happy to support. And 5 a.m. team, I mean, it's multiple teams are involved in building that. It's Anastasia Labs, it's AI Quant, based in India. So there are multiple teams involved, and you can reach to any one of them. It's really a collaborative approach.
Thank you, Yoram. I appreciate that. Next over to Rahul. What do you see as sort of the missing piece here when it comes to the process to onboard agricultural markets into the ecosystem, and then any parting words or thoughts for the community here?
The major problem which we see is the understanding of the blockchain technology. So first we need to start with what the blockchain technology, and people tend to be skeptical that it's internet money and not real money. And that's when I start to talk about blockchain technology is the technology behind all of this and underlying feature. So with the blockchain technology, we can do wonders. We can impact multiple lives. So that's what we talk. So that is the major problem which we generally face. And we talk with by tackling it with the features of blockchain technology. So that's the major problem. And also the missing parts is farmers currently have less access, not just to credit, but to data and also to the knowledge as well. So they are not having good access towards knowledge or the data, which is turning them to be less effective. Now with our solutions, so take for example IndianChain or 5 a.m. Earth or Zengate, we give access to the farmer, let it be data, let it be credit, let it be traceability, anything. This will impact the farmer's life, which will indeed impact the whole economy. Not just this, the better part for Cardano. So take for example, in the Cardano's point of view, Cardano is getting the new liquidity. Now we have multiple liquidity of retail. Now, so through IndianChain, Indian state government will be onboarded onto Cardano. So the institutional money will start flowing into Cardano's treasury, which is a great thing for Cardano. And this is be a great thing for farmers and the government as well. So it's a win-win situation. Also, in the previous few months ago, we've done a project called Forensic Management System, which is for the UP State Police. We've launched it today, and they've started doing the transactions as well. And now the UP Police have already been contributing to the Cardano mainnet as well since today. And we are expecting multiple thousands of transactions from them as well. Forensic management system we've done in the Catalyst proposal Fund 12. Now it's live today, and we're going to post it on X. We didn't post it yet. Now we're going to post it now. We're getting a lot of liquidity. Our major clients being enterprise and governments, we work with them regularly. So this is the pattern we follow. It's always a win-win situation. It's never a one-sided win situation. So you give good access to farmers, that will improve the whole economy of the state and the country. This brings new liquidity to Cardano. So this is a good way, not just for us. Take for 5 a.m. Earth or Zengate Global, everyone, it's a similar pattern.
Nicely said and nicely stated. And congrats on the launch there. Sounds like you guys have a lot cooking right now. All right. Last but definitely not least, Mr. Lambert.
Thanks for the great question. So I think, some of us, I think all of us, have been working in Cardano in the blockchain space now for quite some time. And I think in the early days, what we saw is the ecosystems were going out to try find solutions to solve. And I think it's fair to say now at this point, at least for the three projects, Yoram and Rahul's project and my own, the people with the problems are coming to us for the solutions. And I think that's been the big sort of shift in terms of traction that we've seen. One of the other things as well that I think is really important that I think is still missing, but we're on the verge of right now, is proving the ability to scale these solutions on Cardano. But what we've seen over the last few years through the work that Yoram's done, Rahul's done, what I've done, and several other projects have done, is we've run a number of different small to large scale pilots leveraging Cardano technologies. And what we've seen across these funds that have been across these proposals that have been funded over the years is that this is possible. And I think the big turning point, at least over the last 12 months, is that we've seen real enterprise and large scale adoption starting to happen on Cardano. You've got proposals like Yoram's with the World Food Program. We're also taking part in one of the UNDP's accelerator programs with several other Cardano projects, and Rahul's projects talking about onboarding millions of farmers working at the state level. For us in Nigeria, we're working at the state level as well, working across different commodities. What I think is the most exciting thing is in the next 12 to 18 months, we'll see these projects rolling out and scaling up aggressively. And it's really at that point, I believe, that as an ecosystem and as a community, we can demonstrate that the network can handle it, the teams can handle it, and we're going to see an explosion in terms of adoption off the back of that. So for me, I think the missing piece is not really that far off. I think Fund 14 Catalyst really helps accelerate these use cases, and I'm really excited to see what that looks like for us, but also for Yoram, for Rahul's teams, and everyone else that has the possibility of getting funded as well. In terms of where you can learn more about our proposals, we have two websites you can look at, zengate.global or palmyraecosystem.io. On one of those pages, which I'm sure we'll share with Farid, you'll be able to find the full list of the proposals that we have. And if you want to get in contact with us, please reach out to us on X.
Perfect. And thank you all, gentlemen. It's an interesting time to be building within the Cardano ecosystem. You guys are obviously rising to the occasion here. And it sounds like a perfect trifecta, right? Again, you guys are all feeding off of one another, which is, I think, something that the Cardano community has done an extremely good job of, is supporting one another, using each other's tooling when we can. And I'm really hopeful for all the solutions, but then opportunity that you guys are working to take advantage of. And so want to thank Sam Lambert, again, representing the Zengate Global team. Want to thank Rahul, representing IndianChain. And then also want to thank Yoram, representing 5am.earth. That'll do it here for today's update here. What I want to do is go ahead and leave the links to all their proposals and official websites down below as a part of this video description for you, the viewer watching at home or wherever you are. If you've enjoyed this type of content, you found it to be helpful, you learned anything along the way, I would appreciate you if you could please smash that thumbs up on the way out. It is by far one of the simplest and easiest ways to support me as a content creator. If you want more of this type of content, consider subscribing to the Dapp